Definitely to our viewers at home, this is now the beginning of the ceremonial part of today's program. As we can see, the president there standing there to be part of the ceremonial part. We also know that there will be an air display as well shortly that will be coming. I think let's just speak to Captain Gauta to tell us maybe in terms of what are we maybe expecting to see with the air display.
Okay, good morning, South Africa. I'm Captain Gauta from the South African Air Force. I'm pilot in the South African Air Force, basically, currently based in Air Force Base Makado. So what we just witnessed now is the two choppers from the Air Force, which is the Super Lynx and also the BK117. And as you can see now, coming up, we've got the Silver Falcons now, which are just coming to welcome the crowd. They'll be performing a short display for us, and then after that, there's going to be another display that's coming up, but you will see it as it comes.
Tell us a bit about the Silver Falcons, specifically for those people at home, as well as maybe some of the people that are flying them.
Okay, the Silver Falcons team, this currently you're witnessing team number 82, and since we're celebrating 25 years of freedom today, you'll be pleased to know that this Silver Falcons team is being led by the first black pilot ever. So this is team number 82. It's comprised of 5 members normally. So now the lead will be Major Oji Mutwani, who's also flying with the number 2 and 3, which will be Major Van Deventer, which is Kosan Stilbo, and we also have who's this? We also have Major. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll remember him. But then on number 4, we've got Major Shabangu. That's and then also we've got Major Tangana. So Major Tangana, he also asked us to inform the viewers that he's actually coming from this place, Grahamstown, and he used to play rugby in this specific stadium that we currently at now.
Well, that's very great, and you can hear a lot of the people are very excited in terms of what they see. Obviously, I mean, it's not every day that one is exposed to being able to see an air display. Tell us in terms of maybe the training that goes into how many hours and how difficult it actually is to be part of something like this.
Okay, the Silver Falcons, basically, they are all of them come from Air Force Base Langabanver. They are instructors in that Air Force Base Langabanver. So to become part of the Silver Falcons team, you have to be an instructor. And that's just part of the jobs that they do. They are the ones who are teaching all the Air Force, all the pilots that come through the Air Force. They go through that place, and they are the members that are basically doing that for us currently. So part of their duties as well is also being a display pilot. So doing all the admin duties and teaching people to fly, they must still also find time to be able to practice what they do now. And currently worldwide, they do hold the highest standard of safety as well, as they don't have, they are the most safest team currently.
And then in terms of looking at what we're celebrating today, National Freedom Day, I think maybe for you and also part of the team, I mean, it's the first time that it's been championed also by a black pilot. What does it mean to be part of the Air Force, knowing that 25 years ago you wouldn't have been able to have that opportunity to represent your country?
Yeah. What it means for me, it's a blessing, basically. Yeah, because basically I wasn't here when the struggle was being fought, but then today to be able to look at the aeroplanes and know that, you know what, I also can do what these people are currently doing, it brings joy to my heart. And for all the other South Africans out there, people who are dreaming to become pilots, I'd like to tell them that it is possible, and now anybody can become a pilot. It doesn't matter of your skin color now. So.
And also specifically to you as well, being a fighter pilot, we earlier spoke a bit about the training. Tell us about the training, how intense is it? What is it like for you?
Okay, basically for me, I joined 85 Combat Flying School last year. So currently I've just mastered to become a Hawk pilot. So basically I'm a commander of the Hawk, the jet you will see coming later on today. So basically I'm still in training to become an operational pilot now. So once I become operational, then we can officially say that I'm a fighter pilot.
Great. And then I'm not sure where they're still coming. In terms of the patterns or the routes that they do, is there, like the training, is there any symbolism behind it? Like, how do they go about actually mastering it? I mean, everyone is in a separate airplane.
Yes, basically, you've got the leader there, which is Major Ojimutwani. Normally what they do is they have their practices at least on a weekly basis. They should have at least 1 or 2 practices. They have a set kind of routine that they follow, and as you can see now, they're just gonna come fly past us, nice and fast. It's like they're doing about 500 kilometers per hour at this stage. So, and now their show is almost going to be finished now. But then basically what they normally do is that they practice very hard. Passion, precision, pride, that's their motto as well. So for them, they actually do, what they actually do is actually quite nice. And also advertising their Air Force to the public.
Great. And then I know at the end, once the president is done with his speech as well, there'll be another demonstration. Can we speak to that a bit?
The other demonstration, that's actually coming immediately now after this one as well. That's basically going to be the fighter jets. All of them come from Makado. Most of them are my colleagues. You're basically going to be seeing 4 jets. There's going to be 2 Gripens and 2 Hawks. The Gripens will be the one in the front is flown by Colonel. His call sign is Midnight, and then behind with Colonel Wilson at the back of him, that's a Gripen D. Takes 2 people. Then behind him is going to be Major Shinobi, which is that's his call sign, Shinobi. So he'll be flying in the rear, which is the Gripen C, single seater. And then on the left and right, you're going to have the Hawks, the current aircraft that I'm currently flying. So there you have Major Jansen and Major Fenter, and then on the other side, you're going to have Major Mfeka, which is the first female black to actually be flying this aircraft, and also he'll be flying with Major Nzuta.
That's great. Are they separating now, or is this still part of the air display?
This is called the fan break. So basically this concludes their show, and then from here they'll be routing back to where they are currently deployed in Port Elizabeth. So it should take them about 30 minutes to get there.
Being part of the Air Force or any military wing must take a lot of discipline as well, knowing that you are representing your country.
Oh yes, discipline comes first actually. Without discipline, you'll never make it in this one especially. And especially with flying, you need a lot of discipline, because else if you can't be disciplined, then you'll be a danger to yourself and also the danger to everybody else around you.
And now that the Silver Falcons are done, what are we maybe expecting to see?
Now we're going to be expecting to see the Gripens, the fly past of the Gripens and the Hawks now.
Is it similar also to the Silver Falcons, or is it a bit different?
No, this one is just going to be, they're just going to fly past initially, and then also coming back for the second time, then they're going to do what is called also a fan break as well. So they'll also separate like what happened with the Silver Falcons now.
Thank you so much, Captain. Well, there we have it. We are now waiting for another display as well, but this session has come to an end with the Silver Falcons, but obviously the band now is also taking part in terms of the ceremonial process that is happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, approaching now from East.
No. He wants to go.
Thabo, he doesn't want to.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what you've just witnessed now is the 2 Gripens and the 2 Hawks that just passed overhead. And the formation is led by Colonel Bokoto, Midnight with Colonel Wilson. And behind him is Major Shinobi. On the left and right, we've got Major Mfeka flying with Major Nzuta and Major Jansen flying with Major Fenton. So these aircrafts are the ones that are protecting the South African skies. As you can see them, they are going to come back again, so you can feel the roaring thunder of a fighter jet coming overhead us. So currently they're going to be coming at about a speed of 420 knots. That's like equivalent to 800 kilometers per hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, we should be proud of our Air Force pilots that are actually protecting our skies. And yeah, I can't wait to see this flight past that's going to come back again now. So, thank you.
Well, those are the Gripens that just flew over now, and we do know that they might be coming back just now, which is part of the air display as well, which inside the tent as well, there's quite a number of people that have come out here to celebrate National Freedom Day. We do know that a number of the people here are expecting the president to speak to some of the issues that they face. Some of them actually want to address these issues with the president themselves, telling him in terms of the situations that they are living in within their communities. Obviously, this is the ceremonial part of today's program. They are expecting about 15,000 people to come through here at Makhanda at the stadium where we are at. We do know that it's also part of the township. You'll remember that this is a city where a lot of people have been crying out for national government to actually intervene in some of the issues that they are facing. We do know, though, that Kokta Minister Zweli Mkhize was also here last year, and he was here yesterday, in terms of oversight visit to ensure that things are improving in this city. And those are some of the things, that affect the freedom of people saying that, not being able to have access to cleanly water that you can actually drink, not being able to have proper access to service delivery, a huge backlog here in this city. Those are some of the things which they are saying, those are the things that actually affect your freedom. They start affecting in your belief of what freedom actually is. So in terms of what people are expecting the president to touch on or to actually mention, those are some of the issues that highlight in terms of the people that are back at home. We also know that here in the city of Makhanda, there's an issue of employment. A lot of people at home. We spoke to one of the community leaders. He alluded to the fact that there's about 70% unemployment rate here. But yesterday also when we spoke to the minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, he said what's very interesting about this city is that it is very small, a very small city indeed, but there's a huge private sector that's very involved in terms of trying to turn around the municipality, about 44 companies that are working with the municipality to try and fast track, in terms of service delivery, water issues, the potholes that we saw on our way here as well. So I guess in terms of celebrating a Freedom Day, you also look at how private sector is also, linking up to the municipality or therefore government in terms of trying to help the people around in their communities. And I also think, very important, looking at the celebrations that we have today, which are running concurrently there with the celebrations of the lives lost 200 years ago, people that were fighting for land, which is a very topical issue for South Africa now as well. And I guess a lot of the people here are waiting to hear the president talk to those issues of land and, safety in terms of having your own home and your own land, a space of your own. Let's also bring in Lerato, who's been doing a lot of coverage in terms of the organizations, Lerato, that have been helping out in this area. I know they came in around February, but this has been very close to you in terms of the work that you've done with the community here and the issues of water and sewer pipes that are bursting in these areas.
Yeah, I think it started in January, where we got a call from the community, especially in the eastern side, which we completely...
Sorry, Lerato. That's definitely still part of the air displays, Lerato, and I see Minister Nxesi has also arrived. I guess we're expecting to see a number of ministers that will also come through. But tell us about the people that have come through also to this area, mentioning what you're saying now, but the community outcries.
Yeah, just actually to the back of you, there's a community here holding a sign saying, please give us freedom of water. Like you said earlier on, the main issue in Makhanda is the issue of water. There is the eastern side and the western side of Makhanda, and for a long time, the western side has had enough water because of a water treatment plant called the James Kleinhans Dam, which was feeding the eastern side and the west. But then the western side had a dam called the Settlers Dam, which then decreased in water supply, which means that the one water supply area, which was a James Klein Science water treatment, had to supply the entire city. But the Premier Muswalo was here 2 weeks ago. They funded to 22 million rand, and that has increased the water supply now to 13 megalitres a day. So more water coming to the city. But then if you go to speak to the people, they say even though the Premier was here, even though Mr. Mkiza was here as well, there still is a water crisis here. And like you said earlier on, it links mainly to aging infrastructure. And I was speaking to the Premier earlier on, asking him, are they going to deal with the fundamental issues? Something else to plough money, but are they going to fix the pipes? Are they going to increase the capacity of the James Klein Dam? Because when they do that, there'll be more supply of water into the city.
And then Lerato, also looking, we know that Gift of the Givers is also around in this area trying to give water to the people. They've drilled a number of boreholes. But as a sense, speaking to the people, do you know if they are educated in terms of when the water from the boreholes will be actually be able to access the people, in terms of, we know that water from borehole systems needs to go through a treatment plant? All right, let's listen to the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated, and please remain seated for the withdrawal of the podium group and until the gallop winners of March 12.
All right, Lerato, as we can see, the president is going to make his way in now for the formal program. We do know that the MC is going to be Minister Nathi Mthethwa, but I also see on the other side of the road there's people with a board. Can you maybe see what it is?
Yes, I actually walked by there a few minutes on. It says residents of the Makhanda asking for freedom of water. I think we cannot ignore, even though there are celebrations, but we cannot ignore that Freedom Day is about the people. It's about have they achieved freedom, the people on the ground, besides the dignitaries, besides the ceremony part. But the people, as you can see just outside the gate, saying that they want to speak to the president themselves. They want to tell him, like you're saying earlier on, what are the core issues facing the city, and perhaps they are hoping he's going to address those in his speech, but also hoping that he's going to address them, because we've had a premier come here, we have Cocta coming here as well, but people are saying that even those two provincial heads haven't been able to deal with the issues facing Makhanda, especially in terms of water. I was actually speaking to the owner of the B&B where we slept earlier on, which is actually the center of the town where you think that things are a bit better, and he was saying that the water is so bad that he can't even brush his teeth with it. So even if he drinks the water in the CBD, which is the economic hub of the city, he still struggles with the water there, because if he drinks it, his stomach gets upset. So it's not an eastern thing where the township is, but it's also western in the CBD. You were saying earlier on also that there are potholes in the CBD, which is the economic hub of the city. So lots of issues of concerns in the city.
Lerato, this is a city where you can walk to everywhere. I mean, we spoke to one of the community leaders who was saying, if you walk 100 meters to the left, you are in the most poverty-stricken area of Makhanda, and if you walk towards, I think it's the right, then you're in a completely different area. This is a city that has the likes of Rhodes University, a lot of private sector. the organizations are interlinked. What do you think, how did it maybe go wrong? I mean, from the stories that you've done in this area, obviously from the people that you've spoken to, is it maybe from a journalist perspective, is it lack of administration? I know in the past 5 years, there's been about 10 MMs, 6 CFOs. There's a new mayor now, but people are still calling for council to be dissolved. Can you maybe speak to some of those issues in terms of why would they want council to be dissolved when they've changed a mayor? Is there any progress?
I think last year a protest started, which was actually quite interesting because it wasn't only an issue of just the eastern side, which is the black townships protesting, but we saw blacks and white coming together, saying that the government must put this administration, dissolve it and start it afresh. We spoke to BNB owners, like you're saying earlier on, which are the economic hub of the city. We know that the Grahamstown Arts Festival coming up in 2 months' time, and they were saying that, you know what, the core issue here is that people in leadership are not being held accountable. That even though a new mayor comes, he comes with new problems as well, because the past problems have not been dealt with. So, like I was saying earlier on, and like you're alluding as well, that we can speak into issues of money being invested, but if the core issue of accountability, good governance, getting people compatible leaders that have the skills to be able to meet the requirements, people that have infrastructure background, that have the skills to deal with the pipe issues, that's why people are saying, if you speak to most BNB owners, there was a BNB who went to and was speaking the economic side of the water shortage. The BNB owner just said to me, Lorato, the issue here is leadership. If they can just get us good, proper leaders that have the skills, someone that has a background in water and sanitation, someone that has a background in leadership and governance, then things will turn around. So fundamentally, people are crying out that the government comes and deal with the leaders here in the city.
It's speaking about the leaders and in terms of oversight as well. We do know that recently one of the main managers, specifically I think the manager that actually deals with water and sanitation, has also been suspended. So I guess maybe the pace in which government is going for this municipality is a bit slow for the community members on the ground, whom have been suffering from about 2013, when actually previous Minister Pravin Gordhan had actually decided to put this municipality under administration. But I guess maybe they are trying to intervene, but that intervention is not fast enough to, satisfy the people. But Lorato, you know what? I think we'll speak more to the elements of the financial situations, the debt, the backlog, the electricity a bit later. Let's go inside now and see what's happening in the tent.
Ndinikezele kuMinister Mthethwa ukuba aqalise le program.
I also, Lorato, want us to speak, to the elements of protest in this area. Although they've had protests for several years dating back, they've never actually, gone on to vandalize what they have, etc. So this is a community that's actually trying to highlight their cries. I mean, although we see a municipality that is trying, from the ground, are there any, issues of health? I mean, this water is terrible. Me and you can maybe afford bottled water, but people in the people that we're talking about now, the democracy that we're talking about now, how are people's lives being affected by having no water for 8 days, sewer pipes bursting, not being able to maybe flush the toilet, and the water that they're drinking?
There's an area here in Makanda called Section 10. It's predominantly a coloured area, and someone was saying that they can't even drink the water because it's so unhealthy. But we'll talk about that later on. Let's now go inside and see what's going on.
Sinokumkani uDalindyebo umzukulwana kaJonguhlanga uJonguhlanga kaJongilizwe umzukulwana kaNdyebo itholele inkunzi zikangangelizwe kaMthokaka zimzonda intshaba zingena umenza nto kuba wambetha ufele lwengcuka azanelizwe ikhona indlu yakokwabo ekunene ukumkani uMathanzima umfo wekumkani engumzukulwana kaRhaqothi indemlomo ugoso ingcuncu esela kumanzi omlambo incibani into yathi yawufika phantsi kweziziba zikaqeleke qushe lekwekwe yambatha ufele lukagqoloma yathi yawugoduka yafika eQamata yadala iwonga kubathembi adala imvula adala imvula alapha amampondo eqawuka likamqikela silapha isizukulwana sikafaku ufaku kangqungqushe uthahla kandayeni athi amanzi ekho ahlambe ngeyeza umzukulwana kaNqwiliso Tyelovu amampondo kwakuthiwa Zanozu 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 ilapha ikumkanikazi yesisizwe sakulonsinga kaNomagwayi wasembuzamazama ilizwe lizamazama usibala mdabusa mbada zinkutshane kanti somlingana kube simpuluthi zimsitha amadolo hamba mkasheke umtsolo bento ububumkani kwakulozana esizwe imbishi yenqishi yakulombethe nakulombombo wabhukubhukuleka ukubheka ebholo nasebhele uncithe mdaka yingonyama isilwe esikumkana kumahlathi kahoho umdaka omkhuthuka indlovu eyakohoho nguhala hoyi umzukulwana kavelile umzukulwana kagonya kafaku undibuzela amathongo ndiwaxele umzukulwana kalakhanda kamlawu ikhala ngelimaphiko mdaka irhamnqele edlumzeli ukhanyela umzukulwana karharhabe katshiwo kangconde katwagu kancwangu kasikhombo katshawe kankosi yamntu kabalangana kakhosa kamnguni kantu intombi ezalwa kakuhle mfondini kulobhejane ephuma esiqiwini kade bekuvalele kabheka uzulu isizukuzuku salembele kamanye amalembe ngowukhalipha inkomo zikajama zikandaba zikamageba anoloyiso anoloyiso anoloyiso
Masibulele kuchawe Prince Ncamashe. Ngoku sizawucela uPremier enze i-opening and welcoming remarks njengePremier ephondo. Over to you, Premier.
Amandla ngawethu ilizwe lelethu inkululeko